What if one food could slow your aging heart, sharpen your foggy brain, and reduce inflammation that's been quietly building in your body for years? After 40, your body plays by completely different rules. Your metabolism shifts, your hormones change, your cardiovascular risk climbs, and the foods that worked in your 20s, they don't cut it anymore. But there's one food that scientists, cardiologists, and neurologists keep coming back to, not because it's trendy, but because the research is undeniable. Stay with me, because what this fish does inside the body of someone over 40 is genuinely remarkable. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. Section 1. Why 40 is the turning point. Let's be honest about what happens to our bodies after 40. Inflammation increases. This is the silent driver behind heart disease, arthritis, cognitive decline, and even certain cancers. After 40, your body produces more inflammatory compounds, and fewer of the ones that fight back. Your heart works harder, arterial walls stiffen, blood pressure creeps up. The risk of atrial fibrillation doubles every decade after 40. Your brain starts to feel it too. Memory lapses, slower recall, that brain fog you keep dismissing. These are early signs of neurological aging. Muscle mass drops, roughly 3 to 8% per decade after 30, and that rate accelerates after 40. Less muscle means a slower metabolism, weaker joints, and less stability. Hormones, estrogen, testosterone, DHEA all begin declining. This affects mood, energy, libido, bone density, and cardiovascular protection. Here's what most people don't realize. Your diet needs to change with your biology. And very few foods address all of these changes simultaneously. Salmon does. Section 2. What salmon does to your heart. Let's start with the most critical organ, your heart. Salmon is one of the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids on the planet, specifically EPA and DHA. These are not the same as the ALA found in flaxseed or walnuts. EPA and DHA are the active forms your body uses immediately, and after 40, your body's ability to convert plant-based omega-3s drops significantly. So what do EPA and DHA actually do for your heart? Number 1. They reduce triglycerides, blood fats, linked to heart disease by up to 30% in clinical studies. Number 2. They lower blood pressure. A meta-analysis of over 70 trials found that omega-3 supplementation reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of 4 points. That's clinically significant. Number 3. They reduce arterial inflammation. This is the real danger after 40. Not just cholesterol, but inflamed stiff arterial walls. Omega-3s inhibit the same inflammatory pathways that aspirin targets, but without the bleeding risk. Number 4. They regulate heart rhythm. The GC Prevenzione trial, one of the most important cardiac trials ever conducted, found that omega-3s from fish reduced sudden cardiac death by 45% in heart attack survivors. 2 to 3 servings of salmon per week can deliver the omega-3 levels associated with these outcomes. No supplement required. Section 3. What salmon does to your brain. Now let's talk about the organ you might be more quietly worried about, your brain. After 40, your brain begins to lose volume at a rate of about 0.5% per year. The hippocampus, your memory center, is especially vulnerable. And this is where salmon becomes remarkable. DHA, the omega-3 in salmon, is literally a structural component of the brain. 60% of the brain's dry weight is fat. And DHA is the most abundant fatty acid in brain cell membranes. When your DHA levels drop, which they do as you age, cell membranes become less fluid, and communication between neurons slows. A landmark study from the University of Oxford found that children with higher omega-3 levels had measurably better reading and memory scores. In adults over 50, studies show that regular omega-3 consumption is linked to larger brain volume and slower cognitive decline. But that's not all. Salmon is also rich in astaxanthin, a carotenoid that crosses the blood-brain barrier and acts as a powerful antioxidant, protecting neurons from oxidative stress. B12. A single serving of salmon provides over 100% of your daily B12. B12 deficiency, extremely common after 40, is directly linked to brain shrinkage, depression, and memory loss. Choline, a precursor to acetylcholine, your primary memory, and learning neurotransmitter. If you're worried about staying sharp in your 50s, 60s, and beyond, this is the food to prioritize. Section 4. What salmon does to your body. Beyond heart and brain, let's talk about your body, muscles, joints, hormones, and metabolic health. Muscle preservation. Salmon is a complete protein, delivering all 9 essential amino acids. One 6-ounce fillet gives you around 40 grams of high-quality protein. After 40, your body becomes less efficient at using dietary protein for muscle synthesis, a phenomenon called anabolic resistance. Research shows that higher protein intake, combined with the omega-3s in salmon, actually reverses this resistance and improves muscle protein synthesis in older adults. Joint health. The omega-3s in salmon reduce the inflammatory cytokines responsible for joint pain. A 2016 study in the journal Rheumatology found that omega-3 consumption significantly reduced stiffness and pain in osteoarthritis patients without the side effects of NSAIDs. Metabolic health. Salmon improves insulin sensitivity. It raises HDL, your good cholesterol. It supports thyroid function through its selenium content, and it helps regulate cortisol, your stress hormone, which, when chronically elevated after 40, causes fat storage around the abdomen. Bone density, often overlooked. Salmon contains vitamin D and magnesium, both critical for calcium absorption and bone strength. Women especially lose bone density rapidly after menopause, and salmon addresses 2 of the key nutrient gaps: mood and sleep. Omega-3's influence, serotonin production and receptor sensitivity. Multiple studies link higher omega-3 intake with lower rates of depression and better sleep quality. 2 things that quietly decline after 40. Section 5. How much, how often, and which salmon? So how do you actually use this information? How much? The American Heart Association recommends 2 servings of fatty fish per week. For people over 40, seeking therapeutic benefit, research supports 3 to 4 servings. A serving is about 3.5 to 6 ounce, 100 to 170 gram. Which salmon is best? Wild-caught Alaskan sockeye is widely considered the gold standard, highest omega-3 content, lowest contaminant levels, sustainable. Atlantic salmon farmed is more accessible and still nutritious, but check sourcing, quality varies widely. Canned salmon is underrated. It's often wild-caught, affordable, and just as nutritious as fresh. The bones are edible and add calcium. Smoked salmon is fine occasionally, but high in sodium. Not ideal if you're managing blood pressure. Cooking matters: baking, poaching, or lightly. Pan-searing preserves omega-3 integrity. Deep frying oxidizes the fats and negates many benefits. A practical routine: aim for salmon twice a week. Pair it with leafy greens and olive oil for a synergistic, anti-inflammatory meal that works on multiple fronts simultaneously. After 40, you can't out-supplement a poor diet. You can't out-exercise chronic inflammation, but you can make deliberate food choices that work with your changing biology instead of against it. Salmon isn't a miracle food, but when the evidence consistently points to one food, reducing cardiovascular risk, protecting brain volume, preserving muscle, improving mood, and reducing inflammation, all simultaneously, it deserves a serious place on your plate, 2 to 3 times a week. That's it! Your heart, brain, and body at 50, 60, and 70 will reflect the choices you make today. If this video gave you something useful, please share it with someone who needs it. Subscribe for weekly evidence-based health content, designed for adults who want to age on their own terms. I'll see you in the next one.